Yeah, we were in Texas. The aircraft that we were flying cover for was out of New York. It's B-52 was flying cover for it, and B-47. We were going across there, and one of the bomber pilots called me and said, "What is that you see up in front of us, sir? Up about another 20 degrees." And I looked up there, and it was a great big, looked like stars, you know. And I said, "No, that's not no stars." And about that time, it made a 90-degree turn to the right, and doing about 2,000 miles an hour. And I knew that wasn't no airplane. The bomber pilot called me and asked me what it was. And by his radar, he could tell it was coming his way. Just a big bright light. Yeah, it come on over, I guess probably in about 35, 40 miles of us, and made a 90-degree turn to the right. I seen where it hit while I was flying. And I told the commander I was going to fly over it and come back. And they said, "Okay, yeah, we want to know what it was." So I flew over and looked over it. And I got down about 800 feet, and you're not allowed to do that, you know. And anyway, I got down there where I could see what I wanted to see, and got out and come on back and picked my B-47 up. They were going on to state of Washington. And I told him, I said, "I got to get out of here and go home." Went on over there a little bit, and I said, "When we get through here, I'm going to go look at that." And so they went on to Washington, state of Washington, and another fighter escort picked them up over there about the line of Arizona. And I turned around and went back to Fort Worth. And then I got in a small plane and went down there where that thing looked like it crashed. Well, the way I kind of thought the way it looked and what happened, it was coming across there and it made a 90-degree turn at 2,000 miles an hour. And I said, "That's nothing belonging to us." There was a lot of sparks, looked like, and it tilted down about a 45-degree angle till it hit the ground. The river comes up there within, I'd say 3/4 or a mile back toward Judge Roy Bean's place. And it was just hit just about 100 feet on the other side of the river. I'd say there was probably a platoon of them, enlisted type, and the rest of them were government and officers. And there was about 15 or 20 of them. And I got to talk to one of the guys. Yeah, they were just looking at everything, and because it was still red hot and early, and they were staying back pretty close. I told one of them, I said, "They better not grab a hold of any of that. That stuff's still red hot." Well, some of them were little pieces. Some of them were big chunks, about as big as a good sofa chair, things like that. So I don't know exactly if it was round or if it was oblong like some of them. It had skidded through the sand and cement and everything else down through there for, looked to me like about 200 or 300 yards. So it was moving on when it hit the ground. I went back and put my aircraft up and went over to the CAP place and got one of their little light planes, and we flew it down there. A Neurotica. No lights, no radio, no nothing. It was just a simple airplane. We were lucky to get it back in those days, too. And where I landed there, the guy across the road over there, he come paddling across the river. I asked him, I said, you see it go in? And he said, yeah, I sure did. Said, it scared the hell out of me. Said, I was up there in the backyard working, and all at once here comes this fiery ball down across there. Yeah, he seen me out there looking around and everything, so he come over. I said, you see it go in? And he said, yeah, I did. It like scared me to death when he come over the house there. And I said, well, I don't blame you. If it had been 10 feet lower, you probably took the roof off of it. Yeah, it wasn't too far for Judge Roy Bean's property. And I walked up there about 100 yards or so and was talking to one of the guards they had out there. He said, come on, I'll take you down there. And I said, okay. So we nearly got to it. And the guy said, no, the American Air Force will be here in a little bit. I said, yeah, I'm already one of them. And he said, oh, well, what do you want to do about this here? And I said, no, just gather it all up. And that was about it. And we got up and left because it was starting to get dark and we didn't have any clearance lights on the airplane. But he wanted to go with me down there to look where it hit. So we went on down there and they wouldn't let him down there either. He was in civilian clothes. And when I found that little piece on the way back, we were walking out of there and I seen that land there. I picked it up and it was still warm. And I told him, I said, well, let's take this along with us, see what it's made out of. I took it out there. I took cutting torch, grinders, and everything else, and it wouldn't even touch it. It was kind of a yellowish, silver, looked like it's made out of stainless steel, but it had a kind of a yellow tint to it. And it had a bunch of holes on one side of it. And we figured that was to dissipate the heat. This thing was about a half-inch thick. And you could tell it had been broke out of another piece. And you could tell it'd been hot. I guess that's what made it yellow. I just wrapped my handkerchief around it and stuck it in my pocket. Yeah, just about the size of a regular man's hand. And I told that guy, I said, you gonna take me down there? You gonna take me now? He said, yeah, give me one of your cigarettes. I said, okay, yeah. I said, just keep the pack. I said, we get them at 50 cents over there now. Well, he took me on down there, and I got up within about 35, 40 feet of it, and two armed guards come up there and said, that's as close as you can get. I said, okay, thank you. Shot him a highball, and it was already getting early sundown. I said, Jack, we better get the hell out of here. So we took it up there, and he had got a hold of it and took it to the lab, and he kept looking at it, and he said, boy, I never seen anything like that. And he did the same thing I did. He took a grinder and tried to grind it and everything like that. And he said, man, that's good stuff. The reserve unit I belong to, he said everybody's flying on that mission don't say one word about any of it. He told me to keep my mouth shut and be numb about it, or there'd be some consequences. And I said,